Everyone, and welcome to a brand new video. I am in Shirebrook. There's Shirebrook station down there, and there's a few lines and historical things that I want to look at around here. I've been looking in better detail of what is around and what's to do, and today I'm going to begin with the former branch line that went off towards Warsop Colliery. Warsop Main Colliery, opening back in 1898 and lasted until 1989. That is over in that direction, so I'm going to get myself to the far end where pretty much the line started at the colliery, and I'll see you back at this station when we've done. So I've left Carter Lane, the B6407 behind me. It's the main road just down there, and I've got Church Warsop over there and Warsop Vale just there, and this was the site of Warsop Colliery. As always, let's take a look at Rail Map Online to give a little clue of where we are. So I've started today where Shirebrook station is on the active Warsop Mansfield Nottinghamshire line. I'm just a little bit north of Mansfield itself, and you can see this yellow line going off towards Church Warsop. Well, that's where there was some sand pits, and further down there was also some lime kilns, but I'm going to pick up the route where Warsop Main Colliery was. It closed in 1989. I've looked at maps and everything from above, and I can't see any trace of the track bed going off towards Church Warsop. We're then going to continue on until we meet up with the former Lancashire-Derbyshire East Coast Railway, and many of you might be familiar with that as the line that went off to High Marden Power Station and even Lincoln at some point. It went over Fledborough Viaduct, and it is now the High Marden Test Track, and that also joins on at Shirebrook Junction. And we're going to keep on going underneath this line. We'll take a little look at Warsop Yard. There used to be some good sidings just there, and then eventually back at Shirebrook. So I'm now stood on the site of what would have once been Warsop Main Colliery. I've come up from the B6407. Carter Lane is just down there. Warsop Vale over there. Church Warsop and Warsop over there. We've got Shirebrook probably about a mile in that direction, and we should end up in Shirebrook for this particular railway because that's where it joined on what is now the current Warsop Mansfield Nottingham Robin Hood line. So you can see the obvious signs of where spall heaps once were. You've got all the trees up there. I'm in search of the track bed, and that I believe should be somewhere there. Now the track bed didn't finish here. It did continue on to some sand pits about a quarter of a mile towards Church Warsop. There's lots of Warsops around here, but let's push on through here and see if we can pick up evidence of this track bed. And no sooner have I just finished that last clip, look what we've got. There's a single rail just there. Now it's surrounded by concrete. So was this some kind of like loading pad? Because there, that's clearly ballast, isn't it? Now it must be buried under here and continued on that way. Now this dips down just here, so I'm going to suggest that the other rail would be over here somewhere. Whether it still is, I really couldn't tell you. But you can see the concrete does carry on here. But again, no evidence of any track going that way. We know the track bed is there then, don't we? So that is the way we need to attempt to follow. So I'm going to push on this way. So 1989 was when this pit closed. So the last workings probably came out around about within a year after that. Opened incidentally in 1898. I believe construction started back in 1895, so it did get a good life out of it. So where that long weedy grass there, that is where our track bed once was. That's the way I'm going to go. And the sand pits were about a quarter of a mile further up, but I believe they closed long before the pit did, and there's no trace of that railway line whatsoever. So no sooner do we leave the site of the colliery, that was up there, we followed the track bed down, we come to William Wood Lane. That's this one. But look what's still set in the surface of this road. It was a former crossing, look, and the track is still embedded into the surface. How about that? Now, you can see where there was possibly a second track just here. Now, that's obviously too wide for a track bed, but that's astonishing that we've got those remains just there, isn't it? You can even see here on the roadside, look, there's some sort of like passing lay-by as well, where vehicles probably waited before going across the crossing just there. So we then come away from the road where we saw the crossing. You can see Warsop Vale just there, some of the houses, the terrace houses. Come round here and the track bed was here, just behind this long reedy grass. It has just started raining, so I had to put my coat on, but it doesn't look like it will last long looking at that sky. There's the former track bed. So stood here, our foot crossing, our level crossing is just where you can see that telegraph pole just there, and there's the route heading off towards Shirebrook, and just down there I could just make out the bridge where we pass under the former Derbyshire East Coast Railway, which is now the High Marnham Test Track. Used to shoot off towards Lincoln, then to High Marnham Power Station, and now used for Network Rail testing purposes. We'll be down there soon. I'm going to try and pop the drone up while it's not raining. Right now I've got myself out of the rain. I'm stood under a bridge. I've just walked from down there. The track bed is about 20-30 metres just up there. I've come to this bridge, which is a farm access bridge. Above us we've got the Derbyshire East Coast Railway, and this was the location of where Warsop Junction was, where the route came down from up there and went down onto our Warsop Colliery line that we're now following. Well, saying that, I've just gone out under there to shelter from the rain. I've just come straight back out to look at this bridge. So that's the Derbyshire East Coast Railway up there, which is still open, but for testing purposes. It's been long mooted, big rumblings going on that the Robin Hood line will be extended, Edwinstowe, Ollerton. Just keeps getting talked about, nothing happens. So currently, no freight, no passenger traffic, just testing trains every now and then. So I'm now back on a Warsop Colliery track bed. About half a mile down there was the site of Warsop Main Colliery. We've just come from there, that's where that bridge is through the trees, and here is where the former active line now crosses the line we're walking now. We're going to pick that route up a little bit later on, which is part of the Bayton branch. But this little bit through here, I believe, is where Warsop Sidings were, and I don't think it was that long ago the track was lifted. And after following that a little way through, this is what you're faced with. So this was probably an ex-vehicular access just here, going through here, which has been recently fenced off for the last couple of years. Warsop Sidings would be on the other side. So this is where the Lancashire East Coast Railway does in fact pass over our Warsop Main Colliery branch, and up on the left hand side is where the line came down from above us to join onto the line we're walking on now. Look at all this stonework. So the track bed was there above that retaining wall, and it would have met a little distance down there. This is quite a nice little section, this, isn't it? I'm glad this line is here still, even if it's just used sporadically. At least it's got a purpose. So let's follow this retaining wall down and imagine what it once looked like. So we've got our Warsop Colliery branch that we're stood on. We've got where Warsop Sidings were up there, and the line off towards Shirebrook from High Marnham, and obviously Ollerton behind. There is a slight slope coming down. I can make out a little concrete post around about there. You might just see it. Now, whether it was part of a fencing, yes, there's another one just there. So there must have been a kind of like wire fencing or something up there. And it is gradually sloping down. See how far we've come? There's the bridge behind us, look. That's a field just there full of solar panels before getting onto the other railway line that we've just gone under. Let's push further down. So a quick scamper up now to what was that little line joining both the Warsop Colliery line down there and also up to Warsop Junction just up there, to be on the same height as what is now the High Marnham test track. Not really much to see, but we're up here nevertheless. Still a considerable height up as well. And it's around this point where it would have met up, and we go around this bend and we've got Station Road coming up as the bridge, and the current Shirebrook station is just the other side of that. And here it is, look. So this is Station Road up here, and we take that up there and over off into Shirebrook itself, and the station is just a little way on the other side of this bridge. And this is what it looks like underneath. You see, you've still got the cable or telegraph points just there, look. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little arches across underneath. So here I am back at Shirebrook station, and the line we were following would have just joined on a little bit down there. Right down there, there was goods sheds, engine shed, all manner of all sorts of things. I'll stick some pictures on of that. But for now, I'm going to go walk another route. Remember the Lancashire East Coast Railway we went under a couple of times? That is over there, Langwith Junction. I'm going to go and follow that route and see if I can make my way as far as Clown. See you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, any suggestions, comment below. Look at the archways of the active Robin Hood line down there. Smashing.